run it, run it, run it. Let's go. Get out, let's go. Here we go, work at it. Work your technique, do little things right. That's it, all right, roll it.
This is Cardinals Game Plan, presented by Dignity Health. Your hosts, Paul Calvisi and Ron Wolfley, with the head coach, Kliff Kingsbury.
All right, here we go, everyone. Welcome in, the head coach, Kliff Kingsbury. And, Coach, I was trying to figure out why Wolf was mean-mugging everyone all week long, and then I realized, well, Seattle's in town.
It's going to be a physical game, Paulie, no doubt about it.
Yeah, no doubt. Not unlike the Baltimore game, and I know coming off that Ravens game, you were very encouraged. What's your reaction coming off this Panthers loss?
I think, obviously, anytime you lose, there's disappointment. I didn't like the way it got away from us in kind of a 4-minute span, but once again, effort's showing up. We have a lot of things to clean up and get fixed, but I like how hard we're playing, and we can build off that.
Coach, did the Panthers do anything differently on defense?
They didn't. We kind of knew where they'd be and what they did. I think we had a good rhythm initially on offense, and then once we got behind a bit, kind of made us one-dimensional and played into their hands, and they did a nice job there at the end of really slowing us down. But we can't get behind that many points and become a one-dimensional football team.
You wanted a faster start, and you got it. And you got it even on defense. Let's go to the film here. And Chandler Jones, big players, make big plays at big times, and the strip sack. In fact, let's make this our film breakdown. 3rd down and 5 for Carolina.
Yeah, Chandler's a guy who's just been incredible. His motor, his effort, I mean, he doesn't want to come off the field. You can see he's so long, get those levers, and I think we've had 5 or 6 times, even when we haven't gotten the ball, we've got it out from quarterbacks. So those guys are doing a great job targeting that elbow and getting that ball out. So just an impressive player, impressive human being, and we're lucky to have him.
Coach, it's really important to be able to rush the passer with 4 and get pressure, right?
No question. If you can do that, you're in good shape. You can defend, you can play any sort of coverages behind it, and that goes a long way.
Are you happy with that part of your defense right now, Coach? Do you feel like you're able to do that like we just saw?
I think it's coming on. We have some young players on the interior that are continuing to grow, but anytime you start with Sizzle and Chandler outside, you got a chance.
All right, so Cardinals take possession. You wanted the faster start, you get it. A long drive, 14 plays, 74 yards. 6 different players touch the ball, gain yards. How much of that was by design?
That's how we want to play. We want to mix it up, run the football, play action, get it out of our hand and play at a good clip. And I felt like that was the best drive we've had this season as far as in rhythm and what we want to be offensively.
There was 3 third down conversions. Kyler had more yards rushing on that opening drive than he had the first 2 games combined. How much of that was organic and how much of that was on your play sheet?
He's continuing to get a feel for what he can and can't do at this level, and I think that was just development from the first 2 weeks, and he's getting a feel for what he can get away with, and I think as the season goes on, you're going to see him get more and more comfortable with that.
And of course, Larry Fitzgerald scored a touchdown right there, and Coach, in the red zone, it's not my imagination here. You're targeting Fitz in the red zone specifically a little bit more, right?
We're trying to get him the football. He's such a big body. You know he's going to come down with it. And then if he gets it close, he's putting it in. And so anytime we can get it to him near that end line, that's where we want the ball to go.
After the touchdown, he came and he specifically sought out and thanked Max Williams and Charles Clay, the 2 guys who threw blocks for him. So, and they did. They created a lot of room for him, didn't they?
They did, and that was, we knew those guys are dependable blockers and unselfish players, and that was cool of Larry to do that.
All right, so the Panthers answer, 11 plays, 75 yards, and then Samuel had the touchdown. And that was sort of a theme that repeated itself. Cardinals would score, and the Panthers would answer.
We could never just get momentum on our side and turn the tide, and you got to give them credit. They came in with a good plan. Kyle Allen played at an extremely high level. McCaffrey's a very talented back, and they found a way to get it done.
Coach, I know that in retrospect, of course, it's so easy to look back and say we should have done this or we should have done that. But when you think of that, the Panthers game and how you play defensively, would you come after Kyle Allen a little bit more if you had to do it again?
We felt like we could make him uncomfortable with our front 4, but I got to give their line credit. They protected him quite well. So I think if we could have made him more uncomfortable with blitzing, that would have been probably a change-up that we'd like to do.
And he was on the money with that pass to DJ Moore before the half, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was an incredible throw. We can't give that up in that situation with time winding down, and what a big momentum swing. You go from up to losing on a chunk play like that. That's tough, but I thought we responded well coming out of the second half.
Larry was talking about how Carolina was playing deep coverage, trying to keep everything underneath, but you had a shot to Christian Kirk on a deep ball, didn't you?
We did. He did a great job, kind of making the right read and running by the mic, and Kyler lofted it out there. You got to give their safety credit for hustling and getting over there and dislodging it somehow, but that's a play that we'll make as we move forward.
You came off at halftime and said, hey, there's opportunities there, especially underneath as well, and then boom, third quarter you started a 9-play, 75-yard drive. What'd you like about that drive?
Just that we answered after that tough momentum swing there. You have the big touchdown by them and then a big drop by us, and we didn't get our heads down. We came out and had a score to answer and take the lead, and that's what we're looking to do.
When you think of David Johnson and how he played in this game, what do you think, Coach?
I think he's getting more comfortable in our system. I think that, without question, was his best game. Running the football, once again, we didn't get him the touches we would have wanted because we got behind, but he's playing at a high level now.
And David in space is lethal. We saw that in the touchdown catch and run, didn't we?
It was kind of a broken play. Kyler rolled out, didn't have what he wanted, threw it back to David, made one guy miss, and broke a couple tackles to get it in, and just a big-time effort by him.
You know what I love, Coach? The short yardage runs of David Johnson. He really stoked it, ripped it in there a couple of times.
He did, and that's huge. We want to stay on schedule. We want to feel confident, hey, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, we can get him the ball and keep the chains moving.
Kyler Murray, I think the best compliment you can pay him is when you forget he's a rookie and you have expectations. What was the difference, those first 3 quarters and then the last 4th quarter for Kyler, and the sacks in particular?
It was more trying to do too much. There's no 20-point touchdown pass out there. You got to take them as they come. You can't let the situation dictate your decision making. And I love that he's that competitive and wants to make every play, but there's a point where you got to throw the ball away, and we'll learn from that. And I got to do a better job of giving him stuff that he can execute and feel comfortable with.
Coach, what happened on the McCaffrey touchdown? As we all know, you were talking about it a little bit. That 4-minute span really changed the course, the tide of this game. What happened on that play, specifically on defense?
We just didn't get it done. I felt like we had the right call on. We knew in that formation what was coming, and they wanted to pound the ball, and we had guys there to make tackles, and unfortunately didn't get it done. And once again, you got to give them credit. They blocked it perfectly, but when you have a shot to get a talented player like that down, you got to get them down.
And then their 2 other touchdowns went to the tight end, Greg Olsen. He's a Pro Bowler, but that has been a consistent point of emphasis, more so now than ever, I would imagine.
It has been. We feel like we've played 3 very talented players at that position, but we can't continue to give up that type of production in the passing game to those guys, and we'll have to find an answer for that.
Next up, we put the eye on the Seahawks and the first NFC West matchup of the season when Cardinals Game Plan returns. Cardinals Game Plan is brought to you by Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness. And by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
By regular season games count, division games almost seem to count twice. Seahawks are in town. We'll get to that in a moment. A lot of comparisons this week. Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, and the one common thing they have, at least based on what I've heard you say, is they're pass first, run when needed. Would you agree with that?
They are. They are true passers of the football, and as talented arm-wise as anybody in the league, and they look to throw first and then create second.
69 yards rushing by Kyler Murray. Is that right where you want him, or a little bit more than what you'd like to see?
We talk about it, whatever it takes to win the football game. That's the number we're looking for, and also be safe. I think he does a nice job of getting down and finding the sideline, but we don't ever want to put him in harm's way by running the football too much.
3rd down efficiency really improved in this last game. What do you attribute that to?
I'd say during the week, more emphasis on it. The previous week we were brutal, and we knew we had to come back and have a great emphasis on 3rd downs, and the guys responded.
Are the sacks a concern with you going forward? Do you think it was just a product of being one-dimensional?
I think it was a product of being one-dimensional, and also just a learning experience for Kyler. Knowing the party's over, I know we're trying to make every play and try to bring us back, but at some point we got to throw that thing away and can't take those big losses and be in 3rd and long all day.
And we know the Seahawks feature Jadeveon Clowney now, Ziggy Ansah. What do you see in that Seahawks defense?
Anytime you watch those guys, it's a culture that Coach Carroll's developed, and they play so hard and so physical, and they're always moving upfield to try and get the quarterback. Very penetrating defense, best linebacking core in football probably, and we'll have our hands full.
Russell Wilson threw it 50 times in that loss against the Saints. I'm guessing they're going to come in and try and be a little more balanced, because last year they led the league in rushing. that Seahawks offense.
That's who they are. They want to run the football. They want to be physical and then hit you with the play-action game. And so I expect to see a heavy dose of their running backs.
Is Russell Wilson still pulling the ball down and running as much as he's done in the past?
If it's there, he'll take it. He's smart. He does such a tremendous job of walking that fine line of when to make a play and when to know the party's over. And that's something that's come with time. And I think Kyler will, eventually get there as well.
And Tyler Lockett, 11 catches, $154, minus Doug Baldwin. He's the number one option, right?
He's a dynamic playmaker. I got to see too much of him when he was at Kansas State and we were at Texas Tech, and I've always had a great respect for him, and he just continues to get better.
More with Coach Kingsbury later in the show. Up next on Cardinals Game Plan, presented by Dignity Health, Christian Kirk, wired for sound. Welcome back to Cardinals Game Plan. Wide receiver Christian Kirk has quickly become one of rookie quarterback Kyler Murray's favorite targets. Kirk was mic'd up Sunday against the Panthers. Wired, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers.
They may be indeed starting to come together. We'll find out here in about 20 minutes, week 3 of the 2019 NFL regular season.
Here we go, fellas. Another Sunday to go out there and be special today. We set the tone right from the first whistle. Let's go out and be special. Special on 3, 1, 2, 3. What's up, buddy? What's your name? Christian. Nice to meet you. There you go. Back in front of the family and friends. Gotta go ahead and get this win for the hometown. What up, man? What's up, baby? Feel good? What's up? Good luck today, bro. Be healthy. It's gonna get real spooky today. Real spooky. That's why I got the black visor on. Ah!
Kyle Allen, who grew up in Arizona, went to Desert Mountain High School, will make the start today.
See what KA got in store for us. I need that pick.
Kyle Allen backs up 3 steps, gets hit, ball is fumbled, it's loose, and recovered. Chandler Jones with the strip sack and the recovery.
We got the ball. Got the ball.
Kyler Murray in shotgun making his 3rd NFL start. Kirk shifts into the backfield. They pitch it to him, rolling to the left side. He's at the 30-yard line and pushed out of bounds around the 33.
Green, keep up. 80. Lost it. No, just regular.
Snap to Murray, quick throw to the right flat to Kirk. Caught at the 10, cuts right, gets to the 5, and slammed down at the 3-yard line. Murray takes the snap, quick throw to the right flat to Fitz. Caught at the 2, and he's in, touchdown! Cardinals strike first.
Come on, Chandler.
Shotgun snap, Allen 5-step drop, pressure coming. Allen
throw.
feeling it,
Get
rolls
that
right,
throw.
throws near side, touchdown! Samuel in the corner of the end zone.
Go do it again. Go do it again, 50.
The line drive to Kirk, who's under it. Going to field it at the 11, run left to the 15-yard line. Able to slip out of a tackle. He's got the 20, near side 25, 30-yard line, and pushed out of bounds around the 32, but that's an excellent return.
Hey, we gonna get it. Bro, I will literally run a straight line to the sideline and run straight this way. Because it works like that, yeah. Let's go put it together.
Shotgun snap. Murray's pass over the middle, pulled in for a first down at the 41-yard line by Kirk. Murray back to throw. Zips it across the middle, caught by Kirk, tackled by Kuechly. Snap to Murray, back to throw. Murray in the pocket, fires deep. He's got Kirk, middle of the field. He caught it inside the 30, then the ball came out, and it's incomplete. It came out when he hit the ground.
Yeah, I need to expect contact.
We want to get you.
Tell me I'll make that.
You, man.
First down to the Cardinal 25. Murray to throw, slings it to Kirk near side, caught and dropped immediately. A flag comes soaring in.
Yeah, that's helmet to helmet. Give me that. That helmet to helmet.
Murray out of shotgun, has the football. Short setup, now steps up in the pocket, zips it over the middle to Kirk, caught inside the 40. He's going to be short though.
Almost got up out of there on that one. What, Luke? He got my left leg.
Murray from the end zone, back to pass, throws deep near side, picked off again by Dante Jackson on the 21, tackled there. Second interception by Jackson. Boy, the rails, Cardinals offense off of it. Kyler Murray in particular, he has come undone.
Still got a long season left. Just got to put it all together.
The Panthers roll 38-20. Cardinals fall to 0-2-1.
Enjoy this one, all right? I'm gonna text you.
Next on Cardinals Game Plan, Paul and Wolf with a deep dive into what to watch for Sunday when the Seahawks pay a visit to State Farm Stadium. Welcome back to Cardinals Game Plan, presented by Dignity Health. Now, Paul Calvisi and Ron Wolfley look at the matchups on both sides of the ball when Seattle and Arizona square off on Sunday.
All right, so the Seahawks, Wolf, just lost their first home game in September under Pete Carroll ever. They have been 15-0. Wow. The Saints beat them, and the key was Alvin Kamara, a big back who can catch, he can run. And do the Cardinals not have that again now in David Johnson?
Yeah, they do, Paulie. It's really a great thing to see David Johnson actually run the ball with a lot of fire, a lot of conviction. And you know what? I think that's probably the best thing that could happen to the Cardinals. I'm encouraged based on seeing David Johnson get the ball, that touchdown, that catch by David Johnson. What did he do, Paulie? Broke a tackle, number one, juked the guy, number two, and then stoked it in there with low pad level. Boy, David Johnson really fired me up. And if there's one guy that this team needs to play like that, it's David.
Yeah, the speed and the power. You
Yes.
saw that. If there's one quarterback you would compare to Kyler Murray, it would have to be Russell Wilson. If not for Russell Wilson, is Kyler Murray the first pick overall?
That's a great question right there, honestly, because I do believe that Kyler Murray was picked number one overall because of the fact he stepped on that scale and weighed 207 pounds, and he stepped up to the tape and was 5'10 and an eighth, just like Russell Wilson was 5'10 and 5/8. Well, if Russell Wilson can play in this league, especially at the level he does, well, then maybe Kyler Murray could do the exact same thing. That seemed to me, Paul, to change everything. It changed everything in regard to the conversation leading up to the draft about Kyler Murray.
What do you think Kyler can learn real quick from watching Russell's film?
Yeah, you know what? I think throw it away at some point
Right.
in time. You know, Russell is such a good decision maker. People don't really talk enough about that. And it's because of his overt talent. It's because of his arm, right? His accuracy, the arm strength, the athletic ability, the ability to run the ball. Yet his decision making is pristine. And I think that's where Kyler can really improve.
All right, so Carson Palmer going into the Ring of Honor. In fact, Kliff Kingsbury coming up with a great anecdote about his brush with Carson Palmer some 20 years ago. What's your best recollection? To me, I think of Carson on the sideline, good or bad, he was always the same guy. He was the rock everyone looked to. He used to run the Friday practices like a player coach. BA would outsource it. Carson was the coach on the field in so many ways.
Just, you know what, to me, Paulie, was his leadership. His leadership is off the charts. And not only that, leadership is part of setting an example for everybody else. It was his toughness. He set the example for everybody else. Here's Carson Palmer, the guy with the square jaw and the good hair and the SoCal reputation, right, Paulie? And yet, he was so tough. I'm talking about Amish tough.
His last season, he took 50 hits in the first 9 games, and he would stand in the pocket, snap after snap, and that's where, you're right, he gained the respect of the entire team.
Coach Kingsbury's final thoughts on the matchup with the Seahawks when we return. Cardinals Game Plan has been brought to you by Dignity Health, hello human kindness, and by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
Of course, on Sunday, Carson Palmer goes into the Ring of Honor at halftime. The head coach, Kliff Kingsbury, you have your personal connection to Carson. You guys were in the same draft class?
We were. We played at the Senior Bowl together. Unfortunately, I was on his team, and anytime you're throwing a football next to that guy, it's not a good situation for you. It felt like a Greek god was just standing over me throwing lightning bolts compared to the way my ball was coming out. But I knew then he was like the perfect specimen at quarterback. I mean, tall, athletic, great feet, big-time arm, and an awesome person, too. So I've always been a fan of his, and what a great career he's had.
Coach, when you think of the Seattle Seahawks and what you're going to have to do to win the game, what comes to mind first?
We have to protect the football. That was one of the biggest takeaways. We gave Carolina football twice at our own 22, and that just can't happen in this league. That's the quickest way to get yourself out of a game, and we have to do a better job protecting the football because this is a defense that really prides themselves on taking it away.
And a division game. This could be a real turning point in the season, couldn't it?
These division games you mentioned earlier, they're big, and it's a great rivalry for us, and our guys feel like we're close. We like some things we're doing. We just have to put one together.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching Cardinals Game Plan. For more great Cards content, check out the team's official YouTube page at youtube.com/Cards.